What's up everybody, Krista here, and we're back out in the shed getting some time in on the E30 again. So I managed to pull the old 3.6 medium case out and get the 4.4 small case back in. So all I have to do now for the back end is pretty much get my shocks back in, bolt the axles up, and then I can move on to getting some of the engine stuff done. So we're going to jump in now and get that arse end all buttoned up. And okay, so the axles and the shocks and everything went in pretty easy. Just had to make some longer bolts for the top because of that thickener plate. But now, just before I move to the front, just need to rewire tie my suspension bolts. I just like to wire tie the top and bottom bolts on here. I've got little holes drilled through the head of the bolt just to stop them coming undone. If they do come loose, they won't actually come all the way out. So just going to whack those on quick and then we can move on to the front of the car. Okay guys, so just got the wire ties done, both top and bottom. So now that the back's pretty much done, just going to clean up all my tools from here. We'll pull the bonnet off and get the water pump off, alternator off, and the inlet manifold is leaking coolant, so we need to pull that off as well. Okay guys, so to pull the IDA and the inlet manifold off, I just need to unhook the throttle cable, these throttle return springs that are just hooked onto this little bracket, and also make sure that all the coolant's drained out. I'll empty the radiator first. There will still be some coolant in the block, but this is what it is. We'll get all that off, because I think I forgot to put the O-rings in the water jacket block off on the inside. I put sealant there and a gasket, but no O-ring, and I noticed it's got a bit of a leak, so we'll pull all that off, pull the alternator off, and also pull the water pump out. I'm going to be getting rid of the ghillie drive and going to just a standard V-belt, just for less drag, less noise, just better for everything really. Doesn't sound as cool as a ghillie drive, but just because we're going for as much performance as we can with a little drag on the motor as I can possibly get, because it's not the gruntiest motor in the world anyway, so. Okay guys, so just got the inlet manifold loosened off, the IDA manifold, and in here, oh, it's sort of hard to see because it's so dark. Hold up, I'll just get a light. Okay, right, that's better. So in here you'll see there's a little groove by that coolant line. Usually obviously when it's a factory it goes through the inlet manifold, right. Oh. So this should have an O-ring sitting in there, which I'd forgotten to put in first time around. So let's see if I can do this with my left hand. The O-ring pretty much sits in there like that and squashes on that and seals on the face instead of just relying on the gasket. So it's definitely a bit of a rookie move, but must have just been rushing a bit getting that manifold on, but that's right, we can get that back together and try and suss out this water pump situation. So now that the IDA manifold and everything is all back on and done, we have to move over to the water pump. So this is the old girl. This is the new Green Brothers Billet impeller pump. So you see with a much better flow rate and less cavitation. So you can see that still six. See, there's still actual 6 impellers. Or 6 impeller vanes, I think they call them. But just these are a lot longer, I notice, and there seems to be a lot more sort of smooth and flow looking. So they wrap around a lot more. So we'll suss out, get that in, get set in place. Okay guys, making super good progress. So got the water pump all done, that's all nice and ready to go. That bolt there is loose because that holds the tensioner for the alternator. What I've got to do now is just machine up a bush, a little spacer bush in the back of the alternator there. It's about 12.5 mil, something like that. So just got to suss that out. Other than that, just a V-belt pulley for the water pump, and I've already got one for the E-shaft, so then I can just get a belt and be pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to leave it at that for this video. So in the next video, we'll be pretty much starting the bodywork and paintwork. There's a few bits, I've still got a few more holes to drill and whatnot on the inside of the doors, get a bit of weight out of it. But suss that all out in the next video. Cheers for checking it out guys, and we'll have this bad boy running soon.